Chapter 18, Best Friends. After Bat put Thor away, Janie got all bossy and told the boys that she and her friends were going to watch a movie that the boys definitely wouldn't like. But when Bat asked what movie, she wouldn't even say. "How can you know we wouldn't like it if you won't even let us watch?" Bat said. "What about the time I said I didn't like pigs in a blanket before I tried it? And you made me have a bite of yours, and it turned out I really liked it a lot. Do you remember that time?" "I remember, Bat," Janie said, her mouth in a flat line. "But this is different. You boys can watch a movie in my room if you want," Mama offered. Her bedroom was the only one in the house with a TV in it. But Bat wanted to stay in the living room and ask Maggie more about her pets. What kinds of dogs did she have? How did her brother make sure that the salt water in his fish tank had just the right amount of salt? Did his fish ever try to eat each other? Bat had heard that sometimes fish tank fish ate each other. "Come on, Bat," said Israel. "Let's go hang out in your room." Bat followed reluctantly. When they got back to Bat's room, Israel said, "I think your sister was ready to have her friends back to herself." "What?" said Bat. "But she invited us out there to play a game with them." "That's because you need more people for a game to be fun," Israel said. "She doesn't need us to make watching a movie more fun." Bat thought about that. "Then why didn't she just tell us that she was done with us?" Israel laughed. "Because that's rude," he said. "Watch." And then he pretended to be Janie. He put his hands on his hips the way Janie sometimes did, and rolled his eyes like Janie, and said, "Bat, I am sick of you and your friend. We don't need you anymore now that the game is over, so please go away." Then he dropped his arms and grinned. He said, "See? Rude." And here's a picture of them doing that. "That's a terrible Janie impression," Bat said. Israel hadn't changed his voice at all, and Janie always said "Bat" in a long, drawn-out way when she was annoyed with him, which was often. Bat looked at Israel. He liked the way Israel's hair was sort of fluffy, and sort of curly, and sort of long, but not all the way fluffy or curly or long. He liked how Israel wore his He liked how Israel wore his shirts, loose and never tucked in. And he liked how Israel almost always kept his voice low and gentle. There was a lot to like about Israel. "You are my best friend," Bat said. Israel grinned. "Really?" he said. "I didn't think you liked me that much." "Why would you think that?" Bat asked, bewildered. "Well," said Israel, "when you were at my house, you seemed more interested in my dad's truck or my mom's art studio than you are in playing with me." It was true that on Tuesdays and Thursdays, when Bat went over to Israel's house after school, he used the chance to ask Israel's parents the questions he had. Like, how did a pottery wheel work? Answer: centrifugal force caused by the spinning of the wheel made the clay move outward from the center. And what was the heaviest thing Tom had ever towed with his big black truck? Answer: a broken down RV that belonged to one of Tom's friends. But those questions didn't mean that Bat didn't think Israel was his best friend. "You have interesting parents," Bat said. "Thanks, I guess," Israel said. "You're interesting too," Bat said, "even if you're not a professional potter and even though you don't own a big black truck." This made Israel laugh. "Thanks, Bat," Israel said. "I think you're interesting too. Even if you didn't have a skunk kit, I'd like you anyway." "Really?" said Bat. He felt kind of shy and happy all at the same time. "Really," Israel answered. Bat smiled. Then he said, "Speaking of Thor, do you want to see if we can teach him some tricks?" "Yes," said Israel. "Yes, I do." And that is the end of chapter 18.